All right. So welcome to our Hatha flow class. We will begin seated. So gather any props that you need nearby. That might be blocks or it might be anything that helps bring the floor closer to you. You might have a traditional yoga cushion or bolster, or you might use folded blankets or towels. And I will meet you on the mat. So whatever position of seating helps you to achieve some form of groundedness. So a feeling that you can let go from the pelvis down into the earth. So that might be cross-legged, it might be seated with the legs out front, it might be on your knees with the towel rolled up behind the joint. But wherever that is, that groundedness through the pelvis down should allow the spine to feel natural. And yes, it is difficult to sit on the ground. That is what this whole process of yoga is all about. We acknowledge that it was designed to allow us to sit for a long time. So the entire system of yoga is so that we are able to better meditate. So always coming back to that. As you settle into your seat, you can start to also settle into your space, into the room that you're in. And into your body. So you can keep the eyes soft or close them completely. And with the senses, we drop in. We feel that earth underneath us. We feel the give and take. Our body pressed into the earth at the points of contact. The earth pressing up, holding, supporting our body. We feel the air circulating around us. Feeling the temperature. The movement. We sense the quality of light in the room. The sounds around us. This is our body interacting with the environment around, moment by moment, tapping into what's happening here and now. You can start to turn your focus to the internal environment, the feeling of breath, the rate, the rhythm, the depth. Checking in with your body, the places of restriction, the places of flow. Whereas our interaction with the environment can be done with a little less judgment sometimes, we continue to try to keep that as we're approaching our inner body as well. To stay in the moment without attaching stories, judgments, critiques, or should-haves to all the things that we observe internally. By staying in the present moment, we stay flexible and open to the possibilities. And that's part of my theme this week, is flexible thinking, not only with others, which is important in relationship, but with ourselves. We are fluid, evolving beings. And though it's important to keep on recentering to one's core, to one's values, it's also equally important to keep growing. So on the mat, we'll be exploring that within our bodies, within our minds and hearts as we move through shapes, different ways of getting into shapes. And seeing what we can take off the mat. We'll sit with 3 more rounds of breath. Staying curious, the beginner's mindset. And the next time you inhale, let's reach the arms up overhead. And let those hands travel down the center line to the heart center. 2 more times. Inhale, we reach. And exhale, we draw down and within. Let your full breath determine your movement. Last time, you'll keep those hands at the heart center. Maybe set your own intention for today's practice. And then interlace the fingers in front of the heart center. We'll press those hands out in front of us on the exhale. And then we'll draw those arms up for a stretch on the inhale. We'll do that 3 more times. Just noticing what's happening in the spine, in the shoulders, and the attachments around the hips, head and the neck, the arms. After that last one, we'll release the fingertips, come down into cactus arms. Roll each shoulder on the back, imagining through the clasp the shoulder blades supporting the heart from behind, and then the core protecting the front body, drawing those ribs down. And then we'll exhale, bring the elbows towards each other. Inhale, open the heart center, exploring the range of motion, front body, back body, chest and back. 3 more of those. Waking up the shoulders, the upper back, the chest. And after that last one, we'll take the elbows or forearms behind us. Note which arm is on top and just do a little fold forward here. Breathing into the back body. Inhale all the way up, and we'll go to the other side. So opposite arm on top. And then if it calls to you, opposite leg in front. And we fold again. And all the way up. You can remove anything you have underneath you. Bring the feet out in front, a little wider than hip distance. We've been doing this one quite a bit lately, just for some hip mobility at the very beginning of practice. So I like to do thumbs up in front of me just to remind my shoulders to stay back, those palms to stay facing together. And then we windshield wiper those knees to the right, all the way up and over, keeping that distance between the knees, and then over to the left. And again, it's easy to start attaching stories or judgments to what's happening in the hips as we're doing this. But we just meet our mobility exactly where it is right now. This also, the thumbs up helps me to stay in touch with my core as I'm using these movements to gain more awareness about how my core interacts with the hips. We're going to do 2 more to each side. If you're like me, you may be moving forward on your mat. Just note that. Or off your mat, as I'm doing. 1 more to each side. And then back to center. We'll release the hands. We'll drop those knees to the right and then do a little half deer pose, folding over that right leg. And pressing back up, going to the other side. And a little stretch for that left hip. Noticing what's going on this morning. Just don't worry, we will be doing more with those hips. Coming back up to center, hands come behind us, as wide as they need to be for those shoulders. Parallel the feet, roll the shoulders back, and 4 times just to warm up the back body. We're going to inhale, lift those hips up, and come back down. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Hold it up there this time. Head and neck can stay neutral in line with the spine. Shoulders are opening. Chest is opening. Back body's working. And then come all the way down. Nice. Cross the legs, roll over the feet onto hands and knees. Hands set under the shoulders, knees under the hips. 4 times. We'll do some cats and cows. Inhaling, opening the front body. Exhaling, opening the back body. How can you change your perspective of cat and cow? This These automatic movements are very useful. Today, I just encourage you to look at it with a beginner's mind. We'll do one more full round, making it 5. And then coming back to neutral. We're going to come down onto the elbows and do the same thing, a little bit of a different perspective here. As we inhale, we look up, drawing those shoulders on the back. As we exhale, we look down towards the belly button, really curling out through that upper back. We feel the pelvic tilt. We'll do 3 more on our own breath. If you're usually really focused on the lower back, maybe this time focus on the upper back, or vice versa. And after that last one, come back to neutral on your elbows. And we're going to pick up that right leg and do 4 big circles with that right knee in each direction. So nice and slow, nice and mindfully, just to check in what's going on with the mobility and strength of that right hip joint. And then other direction, noticing the clicks, noticing the places that you want to rush through, and just taking it all as data, taking it all as information, and experiencing it fully. Release that right knee, left leg comes up. Same thing with the left, 4 in each direction. We can notice what's happening on the different side. Other direction. We can compare and contrast. And then we'll release that. Nice. Come up to hands and knees. Curl the toes under. Pick the knees up off the floor. Shift those hips back, back, back. And then slowly you could start to straighten the legs if you want to. You could start to draw the heels towards the earth if you want to. First downward facing dog. And just take a moment here to settle in. After creating the foundation by pressing into every single finger, every single knuckle, we can experience the pose. And slowly start to walk the feet up towards the hands and come into a forward fold. Bend the knees as much as they need to, parallel the feet, and either let the body, the torso, drop towards the earth with the help of gravity, or you could support yourself, just checking in with the body. And slowly we come all the way up to standing. We're going to bring the hands to the lower back, fingertips pointed down, the heels of the hands resting on the crest of the hips. We draw the elbows behind us and press down into that pelvis to ground you. Feel the little bit of release in the back. If you'd like, you can lift the heart up towards the sky, lifting it, maybe starting to lean back. And then on the next exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Hands to shins or thighs. Press the heart up, look up, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana, and we fold. 2 more of those. Press up. Just getting some movement up and release. Frame the front foot with your hand. Step the left leg back behind you. We're going to come down on that left knee. So patting that left knee as needed with a mat, a blanket, or a cushion of some sort. And we'll slowly press ourselves up on that front leg. Hands will come back to the crest of the hips. Draw the elbows towards each other. And then as we inhale, we're going to come out of the pose, scissoring the legs towards each other, drawing the right heel towards you, the left knee forward. And then as we exhale, we'll lunge. So 3 more of those. Inhale and lunge, using the hands to direct the hips forward and down. And after that last one, we'll hold that low lunge, pressing the hips down, forward, drawing the elbows behind the back and opening the heart, maybe even leaning back slightly again. Let's release the left hand to the earth on the left side of the mat and keep that right hand on the pelvis as you twist. Maybe that right arm reaches up. See if you can ground the entire right foot. And then come back to center and step back to hands and knees or to plank position. In either one, we reconnect to our center. So every inhalation, we press out through the extremities, we press out through the ribs. Every exhalation, we feel everything integrate back into the center. And then slowly come down to the earth. Beautiful. Hands beside the ribs or underneath the shoulders. We'll plant those tops of the feet on the earth and draw the heels of the hands towards the feet as we pull ourselves forward on the mat. Draw the elbows towards each other and slowly start to lift the head up off the ground, the shoulders, the heart. Baby cobra. Now change the perspective of this pose from a back bend or even a heart opener. We're trying to lengthen. We're trying to activate that back body, activate the triceps in order to gain more space between every vertebra, or, in the mind's eye. And now release all the way down. Curl the toes under into a downward facing dog. So either in down dog or hands and knees, whichever one feels natural right now, we're going to pick up that right leg and reach it high. And then we're going to bend the right knee and open the right hip to the right, pressing the right foot to the left. Strengthen up that left up arm. Maybe even look under that left armpit. And then release that. Do whatever you need to do between sides. And then left leg comes up behind you. If you're doing it on hands and knees, come down onto elbows. Bend that left knee, open that left hip to the left. Left foot presses right. Strengthen up that right arm. Maybe even look under that right armpit towards the left foot. And release. Nice. From hands and knees or from down dog, step the left leg forward for our low lunge on this side. Right knee comes down. We can pad that right knee, and then we press up onto that left leg. Hands come to the back of the pelvis again, heels of the hands on the crest, fingertips pointed down. We inhale and draw that front heel forward, left knee back. Come out of the pose, exhale, press the hips down and forward. 3 more. Exploring what's happening on this side, the flexibility, the strength. And then that last time, hold it down in your low lunge. Ground yourself from the pelvis down with the hands. Lift the heart. Maybe lean back ever so slightly. And then slowly release. Right hand will come to the floor to the right. Left hand to the back of the pelvis. We twist and lean into that right arm. Maybe reaching the left arm to the sky. Checking in with the body. If anything feels awkward or strange, nothing says we can't release, reset, and try again. We get to change our minds in the poses too. Come back to center, pick up that back knee, and step forward, 1 step, 2 step, or many steps to a forward fold, and release. Parallel the feet, bend the knees nice and deep into a deep chair pose. We're going to keep the torso parallel to the earth. Reach those arms back behind us. And hold here, feeling the sit bones widen behind you. Feel space through the pelvis. That space allows the spine to lengthen even more. And then we can connect to the core muscles, drawing those front ribs in and feeling long through the torso. On the next inhale, arms will sweep forward as we press all the way up to standing. And exhale, fold forward. Look up, halfway lengthen. And exhale, fingertips to the earth. This time, the right leg will step back behind us. Right knee is going to come to the earth again. Both hands to the inner edge of that left foot. Here, you might just sigh your heart down and release. You might start to bend the elbows. One elbow might come to the earth or a block, or 2 elbows might come to the earth or a prop. Keep that left knee hugging in towards that left shoulder. And take a moment to notice what's going on. We're going to press back up onto hands, walk the right hand to the right. This time, turn the left toes out to the left and let that left knee fall to the left. You might even press that leg away with the left arm, increasing the space between the heart and the knee, opening up that hip. You might reach back with that left arm. If it's available to you, you could bend that right knee and take the right foot as well. But work with your body at this stage of your practice, on this day, at this moment. And then come back to center. We're going to do one more pose right here, swinging that right leg behind you so that it becomes parallel to the short edge of your mat. We're coming up facing the long edge of the mat now. Left elbow to the left thigh as we lunge into that left leg. This is like a side angle pose, but with that back leg anchored here. Reach the right arm out in line with the collarbones. You might bring the left hand further down towards the earth, but not at the expense of that left waist. We keep ourselves nice and long. We keep the collarbones wide. And then back to center, swinging that leg back, stepping back to hands and knees or plank pose. Holding there, reconnecting with the core. And then coming down towards the earth. Another cobra pose, baby cobra, or a more a higher cobra, whatever calls to your body. We can keep the hands under the shoulders or beside the ribs. Squeeze those elbows in towards each other. Plant the tops of the feet, the thighs, and the pelvis down. Draw yourself forward and up, activating the back body. And listen to the messages. And then all the way down. Downward facing dog. This time again from down dog or from elbows and knees. We're going to pick that left leg up, bend the left, just like we did before. Big circles, 3 in each direction, but now in a different position. How big, how slow can you make those circles on another direction? 3 and 2 and 1. Release the left leg, do whatever you need to do between sides, and then right leg comes up, right knee bends, big circles. 3. Noticing the muscles we need to recruit here, and other direction. Beautiful. That right foot will swing forward either from hands and knees or from down dog. Left knee comes down, both hands to the inside edge of that right foot this time. We sigh the heart down and take a moment. Maybe we come down onto one or both elbows, onto the floor or on a prop. Squeeze that right knee in towards the right shoulder and let go through the head and the neck. Press up onto hands again. Walk the left hand to the left, turn the right foot out. Let that right knee fall to the right. You might press that right knee away, increasing the space between the heart and the knee. You might reach back. You might pick up that back foot. And then we come back to center. Same thing as on the other side. We swing that left leg behind us so that we come facing the long edge of the mat. Right elbow on the right thigh. lunge into that right thigh. Open the left arm up so that you're making a nice long line from left fingertips to that right shoulder. Eagle wings. And then back to center, swing that back leg back, curl the back toes under, come up on the back toes and step forward, forward fold. Second set of chair pose, Utkatasana, bend the knees nice and deep. Hands to the heart this time, lots of weight in the heels as we pick the torso up off the thighs. Yes, this is a strengthening pose, but can you make it something else as well? Bring the attention to the shoulders. Bring the attention to the width of the rib cage as you breathe. Bring the attention to the sit bones, how they feel as they sit back and widen. The top of the head as it reaches forward and up. For the last 2 breaths, you can choose another arm position. For 1 more. And press all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, fingertips down, step the left leg back. This time you can choose to either bring that left knee down or keep it up this time, but both hands again will come to the inner edge of the right foot. And we sigh. This time, if you'd like to try something new, that right hand can come to the edge of the right foot from under the right leg. And continue to breathe, let the head and neck go. And then we'll come back to center, spin the left heel down, right elbow to the right thigh, open the body up into side angle pose, Parsvakonasana, ground through that left foot, bend through that right knee, and top arm can be on the hip, reaching up or reaching over that top ear. Lean back. Feel the length from head to the outer edge of that left foot. The strength of the hips. And then release, step back to plank or hands and knees. You can come into your recovery pose or come through a flow, coming down towards the earth, coming up into your version of Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. And then back to a recovery pose, child's puppy, downward dog. Whatever speaks to you in the moment. From down dog or hands and knees, left foot will step forward, right knee can stay up or come down, both hands to the inner edge of that left foot, and we sigh the heart down. You may stay there, you may be able to come lower. You may bring that left hand to the outer edge of the left foot from under the leg. And try something new. And then return the hands back to center. Spin the right heel down, left elbow to the left thigh. Open up, blossom into Parshvanottanasana, side angle pose. Right hand on the hip, reaching up or over the ear. Connect to that long line. The muscles we need to recruit to keep that back leg powerful. An extension of this long line. The muscles we need to recruit to keep that left knee pressing towards the left, that left hip coming under us in order to allow that upper body, that torso to spin a little more open. And then release the hands down. Spin on those back toes, step forward, 1 step, 2 steps, or many, and fold. Bend the knees again. We come into a chair pose of your choice for 3, for 2, and 1. Come all the way up. And Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's take a big step out so that we're facing the long edge of the mat. Turn the toes out slightly. 1 hand on the heart, 1 hand on the abdomen. Bend the knees out into a goddess squat. Close the eyes or soften them. And be with this pose. Let's do some wave breath. Inhaling, filling the bottom hand, the bottom ribs, the upper chest, and then letting go, chest, ribs, hand. 3 more. One more. Inhale, reach up, straighten the leg, and come back down, hands to the heart. 2 more of those. Reach and down, and reach and down. Lean forward until the fingertips can come to blocks or the earth. Sit those hips back for 3, for 2, for 1, and then come all the way up. Beautiful. So walk those heels in, and we're going to come down into Malasana squat. If you need something behind you to catch you, you can stack anything, books or blocks. Hands either at the heart center or reaching forward. Toes will be pointed out a little bit. Knees bending in the direction of the toes. We start to come down. And we stop at any point that we see fit. Perhaps you can come all the way down to your Malasana. If you've gotten there, you can bring the elbows to the inner edges of the knees, hands to the heart center. And this can be done at any version. Roll the shoulders back and down. Connect to the direction of the sit bones pointing down towards the earth. Connect to the dynamics of the breath. the role of the spine and all the attaching muscles. And then hands come to the earth. We press into the feet and slowly start to lift those sit bones. Walk the feet in and curl all the way up to standing. So one more, but we're going to get into it in a different way. Actually, there'll be kind of two more to balance it out. Come to the front of the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Look up, halfway lengthen. And plant the hands down, come into downward facing dog. Let's reach that right leg up, up, up to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to bend that right knee and step that right hand to the outer edge of that right foot. And then step it back to a three-legged dog. Let's do that 2 more times. Step and reach. If it doesn't come all the way, that's okay, wherever it comes. And then this time, step it to the outside of that right hand. You can adjust yourself. And then, can you step forward and meet it with the left? Coming down into your Malasana here. For 3. For 2. For 1. And then press into the hands, step back to down dog. Do whatever you need to, recovery pose, because you know what's coming next. We do the same thing on the left side. And then you'll be able to walk out of here with lots of fluidity. Slowly come back to the back dog, reach the left leg up behind you. Exhale, bring it forward, step it towards the outer edge of that left hand, and reach it. And step, and reach. And last one, step, and adjust. Once you've gotten that posture, we've done it before. Now we step that right foot forward as gracefully or non-gracefully as possible. And then we either stay there in a froggy, or we lower the hips into that Malasana again. For 3. For 2. For 1. And then you either stand up or bring the hands behind you to sit down. And eventually everybody makes their way to seated. Hug those legs in. Let the head rest on the knees. Lean back, and some windshield wipers, side to side. Widen those feet. We're just going to test it out for 2 on each side. Thumbs up, arms out front, legs turn to the left. Keep that distance between the knees as they turn to the right. 1 more on each side. Beautiful. Noticing a little bit of difference. Now we're going to reach that left leg out, keep the right leg bent, foot on the floor or cross that foot over the left leg for a twist. If you want to fold that left leg back and both sit bones can stay on the earth, go for it. Hug the right knee in with the left arm. Left arm comes behind us, get nice and tall and twist. Sometimes I'm so open to perspective that I completely forget rights and lefts. Inhale back to center, a little counter twist to the other side. And then back to center, reach out both legs, this time bend the left knee, left foot on the ground. It can stay on the inside edge of that right leg, can cross to the outside edge of that right leg. That right leg can fold back. But at any point, if that left sit bone comes up way too much off the floor, just go back a step, connect to the rooting, hug that left knee in with the right arm, left arm comes behind you, and twist. Notice the dynamics of the breath in your body, the expansion, the wringing out. And inhale back to center. Stretch those legs out, give them a nice shake. Bend the knees, reach the arms forward, and make your way down to your back. When you get there, take a moment to reacquaint yourself with the earth. And then feet will walk together and knees will fall apart into Suptabatakanasana, reclined cobbler's pose. You get to choose your hand position. If those knees feel unsafe, you can put blankets, cushions, blocks to catch the thighs as they come down, giving them a sense of support. Hands can stay in contact with the body. They can come out to the side, or they can reach overhead in a diamond shape, exposing the armpits. In this receptive pose. In order to feel receptive, in order to receive, we need to feel safe. And so through our practice, we get to explore the ways that we can stay connected to our core, our needs, and be open There's no right answer. Now you may always stay here if it feels divine. You can bring the knees towards each other. You can move through anything you need to move through before you find your final relaxation. So maybe your body is calling for one more shape or two more shapes. Maybe a little bit of movement, a little bit of activation, another stretch before you find your favorite position to integrate. This may be a traditional corpse pose, Shavasana, legs spread, palms up, feeling the back body supported and held. But it may be in any other place you feel supported and held. As you make your way there, you come back to the interaction of your body and the environment around you. The support of the earth, the circulation of the air, the light, the sounds. Coming back gently again and again to the present moment. Your breath, your senses. Every moment changes, which is why our situation, our choices may change as well. Compassion for that will lead to greater compassion as we move out into the world. This balance of recentering and being open to the possibilities, moment by moment. Stay here for as long as you want, as long as you can. Make sure to thank yourself before you leave today. I thank you so much for joining me. And I wish you a beautiful day, beautiful week, beautiful month. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all creatures everywhere be happy and free.